welcome back. So as promised, here you have it. I got the towers mounted and I got the flares. So the rear ones should be pretty quick, just bolt on. But on the front, I can really see we're gonna do a lot of trimming. So without further ado, let's get it. All right, so it's gonna sit a little like that. As you can see, I can already tell I'm gonna have to trim right there and back here. All right, so it's a little hard to actually be filming and doing it at the same time, especially because I got a tripod. But that's kind of a little glimpse of what it's looking like. I mean, your friend kind of looks depending on how you angle it, either more flat, more angled. I still gotta get the bottom piece on the back. Maybe I'll just custom make something to kind of give it a good accent to kind of flow with that body line. Just to give you guys a little idea, I do have at least a good 2 inches of poke. Hey, look at that. So yeah, I just put 2 screws just to hold it in place. I mean, little self-tapping screws. I'm not too sure as to what I'm gonna use. I mean, I might go with rivets, but for now, I just wanna make the holes so it stays in place. Yeah, I'm making progress. I mean, I still haven't finished my wheel over here. I am attempting to replicate a donut, so we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, these are ABS plastic. I got them used from a seller on Craigslist, I believe, or OfferUp, don't remember. I got them cheap for like 100 something. So, I mean, I said why not? And yeah, they're ABS plastic, so I mean, I feel they'll probably be a little more durable since they flex. I do have to fill up this gap right here, but I mean, that'll be in the future. And these are pretty tightened in, so they still have a little bit of a gap. I mean, I could kind of heat it and bend it. I mean, that's the luxury of the ABS plastic. But I'm gonna add some weather stripping, so I'm sure that should take care of that little gap. Yeah, overall, starting to look like something. At least I'm happy now that I get to remove this ugly blue tape. I don't know if you guys seen it from my previous video, but I mean, I've had a couple of homies and people roast me for them, but I guess finally I get the satisfaction to say bye-bye. Yeah guys, just removed the blue tape on this side, and man, look at that thing, it's ugly. But then again, I did the mistake of welding with a MIG on high, so I pretty much burned through all the paint right here. And that was before I even know what the heck I was doing. So that's why it looks like shit. But thankfully, this is gonna take care of it. Yeah, so it's not 100% there. I did notice that I do have a centimeter or less gap right here, and on the other side, it's like perfectly flush. But I mean, it's not a big deal. So you are gonna want to get, I mean, since obviously this kit's not for the car, I mean, you do have to kind of MacGyver it and do your own custom work to it. So what I did do is I went from this tip right here, and I went for it to aim to 10 inches, and then this way roughly 7, and well, also that section right there. So like I said, since I wasn't exactly on the mark, my fitment's a little bit off. I mean, it's probably more angled than anything, but that's it. So you're gonna run into an issue on this side. You got your gas cap. So I did mark with well, whatever you find. I just did make some indentations. Those are the grooves where the gas cap goes. So I forgot about it. But what I'm gonna do, I just did a few screws, that way I don't know, make all of them and take them off and kind of like strip the little groove you might have for now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna get a piece of paper, trace the whole gas cap. That way you have a template of what the gas cap size and everything is. That way you mock up your fender again, and then well, you trace the cap, mark it, take it off again, and just cut it. So that should be a lot easier than having to cut little by little, because I mean you can, but I mean it's gonna take more work. And what if you, in case, accidentally cut a little more, then you have to go ahead and body work it. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's not perfectly flush. I had cut it perfectly flush, but I guess I forgot to account for that. As you can see, there is like a little gap, but once you open the gas cap, I mean, you are gonna need that. You're gonna need that extra little gap right there. So maybe in the future, I might fill that up with like a fiberglass. I mean, I'm not worried right now, but I mean, I might add the fiberglass right there just to kind of create a little seam. But if not, I'm thinking of just like I said, I am gonna add the weather strip. So I'm thinking of maybe 3M taping right there, and like that. I don't know. I'm not too worried about the little gap. It's coming along. Alright guys, so something came up. Well, I ended up painting my friend's wheels, and I thought for the meantime I would take a break, but as you can see, it's nighttime. I mean, I can still see because I have a light, but it's pretty cold, so I don't know if I'll be able to end up finishing the fronts right now, or if I have to make a part 2. I guess you'll see by the end of the video. But if I finish it, well, I'll make sure to what's it called, to show you guys an update. All right, so it's kind of rough. I mean, it seems pretty lined up right there. I still gotta cut that part right there. I'll deal with that in a second. I'm not too happy with how that looks, but like I said, I still need to add the extra pieces, so I'll probably try to add something to kind of cover that part. But I mean, if it's, the clearance is pretty good. I'll probably just shave off a little bit. I just don't want to go too crazy and ended up like, well, going too far. So at this point, I'm kind of just doing little by little. I mean, just to get enough clearance. I don't got no badass like spring rate that like most high-end dudes have. That, I mean, you have like super stiff. So I mean, I just don't want to have barely clearance. I want to have a good amount of clearance. Like right here, I'd say it's pretty good. But I mean, if not, I can always just raise up the car, because I don't want to be cutting it and cutting it. At this point, I'm probably hold on, let me pause that real quick. At this point, I'm probably like static. Like I couldn't fit the jack underneath. I mean, maybe a low pro would fit. So, I mean, I'm probably at that state right now. Like I'm kind of, I guess, stanced out. But anyways, now what I got left is to trim this part. So I am gonna sand it. I guess not too reckless. I'm gonna kind of just trace a line. Obviously, I don't want to go too deep and end up cutting the actual fender or the door. So I'm just gonna kind of trace the shape of it, and then I'll cut it, and we'll see where we at. So yeah, let's get it. All right, so I don't know if you can see, but that line is pretty dead on. What's hitting? Oh, it's hitting on the drill. Yeah, that line is pretty much dead on. But one thing I ran into, there is a little gap here. I mean, I can easily put 2 or 3 bolts right here, or screws right there. and this is gonna go a little down as well as that. I mean, not a lot, but for now I'm gonna leave the gap. See if we have any clearance issues, and well, in the meantime I'll figure it out if I want to keep it or not. I mean, I can easily just leave it. It doesn't look bad. I mean, I can even add weather strip, or I can add, since this is ABS plastic, I can always add a little bit more, or fiberglass it. I mean, it's just straight, so when it's straight, it's not really that difficult. So we don't know yet. So I guess now another issue, or another thing I gotta do is trace this out, and yeah, I should pretty much have this side done then, aside from the other trims right here for the rears. I do have a fellow 8th gen coupe owner. His name's Ryan. I mean, he's got a YouTube as well. He's got his, but I believe they're from Duraflex. So I don't know if the fitment's gonna be any good, but I mean, I can always work with it. So I'll probably hit him up after I do both sides, and then we'll figure out how to fit them. But yeah, I mean, I got some paper. I'm gonna first trace it with paper, and then I'll trace that paper to the cardboard since it's more solid. But yeah, I'll probably just do a cut inside the lines. You don't always want to cut exact, because I mean, I don't want to end up ruining this thing. So, I mean, so I want to make it as tight as possible. I don't want to have really a gap. But yeah, let's go ahead and see how it turns out. Oh, I ended up finishing up the kit a little late, so I mean, I didn't really do any walk-arounds or whatever. That's how the fronts look. Overall, well, I guess that's how the car looks. So, but yeah, there's that big gap. This is a small one right here. I mean, weather strip can take care of that, I'm sure. So I don't know if I want to do that, just have weather strip and see how it fits, or if not, since it is ABS plastic, I can maybe take my torch or a heat gun and mold it in place. Or, I mean, I can just add some fiberglass. So I'm not too worried about little gaps here and there, because I mean, it's fixable. What I was more worried about was actually getting them to kind of actually stay in place. So same here, like the kit, I think he did run them. He did run them, so they are kind of like molded to the FRS body. But I mean, overall, I mean, like I said, for not being a kit designed for our cars or for coupes or whatever, I mean, it does fit pretty nice. Initially I wanted to have the bump, the flare or the over fender, whatever, kind of like wrap around the headlight, but I mean, you'll end up with like a little skinny trim right here, and I thought that was a little I don't know, I thought it was too thin, and it was maybe gonna break if I put a screw, or that it would look kind of weird, so I just went and chopped it. I mean, I kind of feel it looks a little weird, but I think it's just me. I don't know. But just to give you guys a little idea, it does poke a good 2 or 3 inches. That thing's pretty mean. And I've seen some wide body like coupes, but I haven't really seen one with side markers. So just driving around like with that side marker like lit up, I don't know, it just looks kind of mean. I mean, maybe it's just me because I'm too excited. But yeah, and the rears, there is a little small gap here, but like I said, I'm sure the weather stripping can take care of that. If not, well, I mean, I can always try to fix it with the heat gun. And you have another little gap right here, but you kind of need that, or at least cut a little more over here so the gas cap can actually swing open. Let me show you guys from the back. So I am gonna try to get a hold of the bottom pieces, because I mean there's extra 4 pieces, 2 on each side and 2 on the front. So I mean, I know a guy that has them and he'll let them go for cheap, but I don't know how like good they'll fit because they're Duraflex. But I don't know, I mean, I might fuck around with them. If not, I mean, I'm thinking of just like taping, glassing around here, and then just like fiberglassing just a little thing. It doesn't have to be too crazy, too thick, whatever, because it's just to kind of cover. So I mean, I might do that. I'm not sure. There's still stuff I'm gonna like think and plan out, but overall, I mean, I think it looks good. And now it actually ties up with my big old wing. And I guess also I gotta take care of this hole. And after I take care of all of that, I'll probably finish up my donut wheels. But yeah guys, there you have it. So what's next is the hood vents. I already placed an order, so they should be here in a few weeks. They are coming from Ukraine, so give it some time. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and take care of any dents or whatever the car might have. That way it could be ready for paint. And after that, it should be a full send, and I guess spend all my time and focus on the boost setup. So yeah guys, stay wicked.